All right, let's fast forward to yesterday's special counsel report. Robert Hur writes this. At trial, Mr. Biden would likely present himself to a jury, as he did during our interview, as a sympathetic, well-meaning, elderly man with a poor memory. Rachel Campos-Duffy joins us. Rachel, is it time for senior Democrats, and maybe the First Lady, to have a quiet word with Biden? It's time to leave.
Absolutely. But Jill Biden should have had that conversation years ago. Yep. I remember being on the couch on Fox and Friends back in 2021, and I said that I thought it was cruel. And I say this as a political spouse. The only person who can tell him to step down really is Jill. She's the main person. And she knew during the campaign that his mind was failing, and this would only get worse with the pressures of this job. So, yes, she's the one. And I sat on the couch. I said she failed her husband. She needs to love him, tell him to step down or not run, and she failed the country. And when I said that, she got her own team, her team at the First Lady's office, writing press releases. There were all kinds of articles demanding that I apologize, and I don't. I stand by those words then. I stand by them now in 24. It's gotten even worse. And as for wisdom, where's his wisdom? He showed no wisdom in this handling of Ukraine at the border. He hasn't even shown wisdom, Stuart, with how he, deals with his own family matters. Indeed. Who puts a son who is addicted to drugs and to prostitutes in charge of the enterprise, be the money bag? That is not wise. So he has not shown wisdom at all in any facet of his life. And so, yes, it's time for him to step down. The question is, what will they do?
Right. How do they do it?
And can I mention one other thing?
Go ahead.
Yesterday, he tried to defend himself, and he couldn't name the president of Egypt. Right. And then the worst for me as a Catholic, he couldn't even name the Virgin Mary that the rosary was supposedly named after from his son.
Okay. Now, hold on a second, Rachel. I want to play a clip of KJP defending Biden's gaffes. For exactly what you're talking about. Is KJP defending Biden's gaffes. Roll the tape, please.
Look, many people, elected officials, many people, they can misspeak sometimes, right? It happens to all of us, and it is common. But I do want to make sure we don't forget what the overall arching kind of theme, what he is trying to say about our leadership on the global stage.
I have to say, I almost feel sorry for Karine Jean-Pierre. She has an almost impossible job. What do you say? Yeah, it is impossible. But the really scary part is that this is a very dangerous time. I don't think in my lifetime, since the 80s, since I was a little girl, we've ever talked about nuclear war, that we've ever talked about, I see headlines about the possibility of World War III. We have 2 wars that we're funding and dealing with. Everything is on the edge. And everybody watched that interview, the American people did, but so did Putin, so did Xi Jinping. So did all of our enemies in Iran. So this is a very scary moment. And it is up to Jill Biden to show her patriotism and to say enough is enough. We also have to contend with the possibility of President Kamala Harris. I think that's the first thing that pops up, isn't it? The president is declining daily. And if anything happens in the next 11 months, we have President Kamala Harris. We have to ask, how does this country feel about that?
Not good. But I haven't felt good for the last 2 years because I don't know who is running this show. Is it Jill Biden? Is it Obama out of his mansion in Colorado? We don't know. And so if Kamala takes over, does Obama just, continue running things with Valerie Jarrett out of that mansion? Perhaps. Or do they say this is too dangerous because this is obviously very good for Donald Trump, what's just happened. And so maybe they go, we're going to pull out the wild card and run Michelle Obama. I don't know what's going to happen. But this is a very scary time. And again, I hate to lay it right at Jill Biden, but I don't know who else to lay it at because it is the job of a spouse. And why wouldn't you want to spend your twilight years with your spouse, loving on him, caring for him? He doesn't belong where he's at right now.
Okay, I'm sorry, hard break. It's coming up on me. I've got to stop it. Rachel Campos-Duffy, thanks very much for being with a very important subject. We appreciate it. Thanks very much, Rachel.